Hello fellow emos and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be exploring a topic that for some reason always fascinated me but I just never bothered to properly research until now, of course, and that is why Japanese CDs often have a bonus track or two that the rest of the world doesn't get. This video is actually inspired by the queen of the MCR community, Franny, so thank you for inspiring me to actually look into the topic instead of remaining ignorant. If you're not already subscribed, then please do hit the subscribe button. I post new videos weekly. And as always, MCR5 2024, it is so real. It is so happening. You just gotta believe. Let's go. Before we can discuss why Japan gets bonus tracks, let's first look into their music scene a little bit. I'm obviously not Japanese, so if anyone from Japan wants to chime in, that would be cool, but this is what I gathered from my research. Japan is one of the largest music markets in the world, number 2 to be precise, which, makes sense because it's also one of the largest countries in the world by population, number 12 in ranking to be exact. And a fun fact about the Japanese music scene is that it operates a bit differently from the rest of the world. Physical media like CDs still play a significant role in music sales, even in the age of streaming. However, having said that, streaming is getting more and more popular every year. According to the RIAJ, streaming revenues in Japan saw a massive 25% growth, hitting 92.8 billion yen in 2022, which is about 674 million USD. Subscription streaming alone grew by 19%, which is absolute wild growth in a year. But why are CDs and other forms of physical media still so popular in Japan compared to the rest of the world? The Economist reported that in 2023, 39% of recorded revenues came from CDs. They presented 2 reasons as to why Japan loves CDs so much. Reason number 1. Back in 1953, the Japanese government, concerned about the devaluation of its products, introduced the price retail maintenance system. The system empowered copyright owners to set prices for certain types of intellectual property, including physical products like CDs. Because retailers and resellers couldn't compete on pricing, prices were inflated, leaving consumers with limited options. This monopoly power allowed music companies to maintain the status quo. Additionally, Japanese talent agencies prevented their artists from appearing on streaming platforms. Reason number 2. Japan is full of fangirls, and I say that as a good thing because I too am a massive fangirl. The Economist explains that talent agencies and labels capitalize on fangirl culture by marketing performers as idols, and one way they did this was through exclusive events, which fans could typically only attend by purchasing CDs, and of course then this resulted in some fans buying multiple CDs to increase their chances of meeting their favorite pop stars.
For loyal fans of the Japanese pop group Baby Raids, the chance to sing and dance with the group's 5 members apparently isn't enough. They want to meet the girls one-on-one, to shake hands, to interact, maybe even to get a thumbs up. The price of such an encounter? The tickets come free if you first buy the special edition CD single for between $10 and $16. This enthusiastic fan bought 20.
I want to shake hands, talk with them about stuff, and be cheered up directly by them.
CDs might be past their prime in many parts of the world, but in Japan, they are still going strong. Physical media like CDs and DVDs make up 80% of music sales here, compared to just 34% in the United States and 49% in Britain. The Japanese now buy more CDs than consumers in any other country, and CD sales rose in 2012 while the number of digital downloads fell. Industry experts say a major factor is the value Japan's consumers place on having a material item.
One time, a foreign retailer told me that Japanese people don't mind the prices, but do care about what comes with the CDs. That made me realize that in Japan's packaged music culture, CDs always come with special goods, like DVDs, booklets, and photo albums.
Artists have responded by issuing limited edition CDs, adding more elaborate packaging or intricate artwork. Another contributor to the trend? Age. Japan's customer base is getting older and clinging to the technology of their youth.
Especially customers who are in their late 30s or older, who grew up in the packaged music era. they have a tendency to buy CDs.
This attachment translates to better profits for recording companies, which can charge more for each physical sale than a digital download. The Baby Raids and other Japanese bands like it are trying to build on this trend, enticing supporters into buying 10 or 20 of each CD single just to get the chance to spend more time with the girls.
We can't be more thankful to them for buying so many CDs just to talk to us.
A small price to pay for these devoted fans, and one that's paying off for Japan's music industry. Pauline Chu, CNN, Hong Kong.
As someone who personally prefers physical media, although, like I said, I'm not Japanese and I've never even been to Japan, sadly, I thought I would throw in my 2 cents too. Streaming will never be able to replicate the routine of cracking open a new CD, opening the lyric booklet to see all of the exclusive artwork, then listening to the album one by one for the first time, all whilst reading the lyrics. That is such an exciting thing. And the fact that album booklets are a dying art format is a tragedy. Sure, we get an album cover on a streaming platform, but that's it. It's not the entire booklet, and it's not the same experience. Okay, so Japan loves CDs, but that doesn't explain why they get bonus tracks. There are a few reasons behind this, but it mostly relates to the price retail maintenance system that I just mentioned. Other reasons include respecting international licensing agreements and enhancing the fangirl experience. Let's first talk about the price retail maintenance system, which has artificially inflated the prices of CDs in Japan. However, it should be noted that there are also other factors that contribute to CDs being expensive, such as high manufacturing costs. It's not just solely the system's fault, although that of course does play a major factor. If you've ever tried to buy a Japanese CD online and you've been shocked at the price, then you're not alone, because for a while I thought it was just individual sellers marking stuff high, or maybe it was something to do with like import and shipping, but no, CDs do just cost more in Japan. When I was looking earlier, everything seemed to be about double what I would expect. This became a problem for Japan because it meant that everyone was importing their CDs instead of buying locally. And can you blame them? It was far cheaper to do it this way. This meant that agencies and labels had to try and entice people to buy their CDs locally, and bonus tracks were the answer. People were willing to spend more on a CD if it meant that they got an exclusive track or two. And if you're asking, okay, but why would an international band care if their CD was sold domestically or not? The answer, of course, is money. Another factor is international licensing. Sometimes certain tracks are held back for specific regional releasing. This means that Japanese editions can feature songs that aren't available elsewhere in the world. It's a way for record labels to manage distribution rights and tailor releases to different markets. It's also why so many artists have so many different record deals going on in every part of the world at the same time. For example, Björk is famous for this. Of course she is famous for other reasons, but she's the first artist that comes to mind when I think of people having multiple deals going on at the same time. And of course, another major driving factor in Japan having bonus tracks is to milk the fangirls. Us fangirls, we love consuming, and so just label anything as an exclusive and, we're gonna buy it. Yes, I am aware of how I'm being manipulated to spend, and yet here I am, powerless to stop it. If you think that I'm a major fangirl now, could you imagine how much worse it would be if I lived in Japan? Thank God I live in the age of the internet and can easily access these bonus tracks from anywhere in the world, and shout out to the Japanese fangirls for not gatekeeping. You're the real ones. We've also seen this practice become increasingly more popular outside of Japan too. In particular, I'm thinking of all the variations of the Tortured Poets Department Taylor recently released. I lost track of how many variants dropped, but I do remember all of the unhappy articles about it. And all of these variations, of course, line the artist's pockets as well as their teams, but it also majorly influences what position they hit in the charts. Obviously, this isn't exclusive to Taylor, she's just the most notable and recent example in my opinion. Now, I want to talk about some of my favorite Japanese bonus tracks. Starting off with the one and only My Chemical Romance, of course. Did you know that Heaven Help Us made the Japanese version of The Black Parade? I don't even think of Heaven Help Us as being a B-side because it should have been on the album, and I will die on that hill. And if you haven't heard that song for some reason, you have to look it up right now. I am giving you permission to exit my video to get on it ASAP because it will change your life. Medina Lake. The bonus track for Medina Lake's World War III is A Beautiful Life, which is perhaps my favourite song they've ever done, and the fact that they just saw it as like a throwaway bonus track when it should have been not only a single but the single, tragedy. So many people, fans even, are unaware that this masterpiece is just out there and they haven't listened to it. Enter Shikari. Japan got destabilized and hell surprise on their editions of A Flash Full of Color. I had to buy my copies on iTunes, and that sucked because, like I said previously, I prefer physical media, but I did it because those two singles, incredible. And I don't understand how those singles didn't make it to the album, but... and that's where I'm going to end the video for now. I am curious to see if Japanese bonus tracks will continue to exist as streaming gets more and more popular, or, you know, if Spotify killed the bonus track. If you are from Japan, I'd love to hear your insight too. Thank you for watching and sticking around if you made it this far into the video. If you have any requests for topics you'd like me to cover, then please let me know in the comments. And I will see you all next week. Okay, thanks, bye!